this thing moving. Waiting for the stream to start up. This is Groundhog Day Resolutions review number 1 for the year 2018. And it looks like we have audio going on. Let's make sure. Yeah, I can hear something. I can't. I hope if I turn the microphone on. All right, now we should have audio. So again, this is the Groundhog Day Resolutions review for 2018. Do we hear something now? There we go. Yeah, and it's actually March 4th. March 3rd is the day I normally do it, but I've been sick. And the entire prior week, my cousin has been visiting for 5 days. He went home on Friday. I got sick on Friday. Saturday, I was just wiped out, slept all day. So today, I'm feeling a little bit better. I have some cough medicine. Still sneezing. But I need to get the Groundhog Day review out of the way. And so I figured I would just stream it and see where this goes. And I did record the last one, too, with the long Groundhog Day Resolutions review process, which took over, I think it took like 3.5 hours. This should not go as long. But one thing you want to do for this one is come up with some sort of way of, maybe a review practice that I will apply next time to have some consistency about it. This is the 12th year of Groundhog Day Resolutions. This is review number 1 for March. Next one will be April 4th. And we'll see how it goes. So the first thing I'm going to do now is, what is a Groundhog Day Resolution review anyway? It's a way of looking at, well, basically I look back to see what I said last month and see if I made any progress on it. And it's kind of telling that I don't remember what I said last month, which means that maybe I need to be doing more intermediate reviews or put them in a place where I can see them and reflect on them. If I'm only thinking about what I said I'll do last month on the day I'm reviewing it, I'm clearly not doing something right. So let's take a quick look at what that is. So I'll pull up the, let me pull up the, wherever I put that, that'd be in davidsay.com. I'll switch to the screen in a second. Say.com/ and the last few blog posts I did here. The last thing I wrote. There's some follow-up thoughts on the accrual bucket. Okay, Groundhog Day Resolutions Review 2018. It's a nice picture, isn't it? One second, I see something in the chat room that's going on. Someone, Christopher posted a article on keep track of your work accomplishments throughout the year. That's interesting. Let's take a look at that. Thanks, Chris. Christopher, I think that's your name, right? Look, checking in the chat room. Let's see what he has to say about it. When time comes around for your annual review, ask for a raise. Take notes. Yes, we do that. Take screenshots of everything. Yes, we do that. Go through your calendar. Yes, I do that. Keep an accomplishments box. That's a good idea. Spreadsheets. Yep. Actively seek out metrics. Now your review. Okay, that's a pretty good review of some things to do. I mean, I think what this article could use is, it's one thing it's doesn't seem to be mentioning. I haven't really read it completely. Is when do you do your periodic reviews of seeking metrics? I think when you're working in a workplace, you have that context to help you focus on what's important. When you're working solo like I am, holding on to your line of business, the essence of the work that you do, and holding on to that and having metrics that tie into the daily activities, I think, is important. Since I'm not doing a whole lot of that this year, it's been a little bit more difficult. I think the primary line of business this year so far has been development. But development is one of three things that I'm trying to do. The second thing is to have some kind of sustainable stationary business. The third thing is to maintain this community that I'm running, because I think it's important. And there's probably a fourth, there's two other things, like, house maintenance, health, and then general, like, real world community stuff. Real world community. Community connectivity. Connecting with people nearby, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because that seems to be important as well. Let me put this someplace here. Let me get a cough drop too. I have a nice big batch of tea, so I'm keeping hydrated. But thanks for the article link, Chris. Anyway, Groundhog Day Resolutions. What I want to figure out is a standardized format. I guess I'll force myself to read this thing. Happy going, every Friday start with this is Groundhog Day, blah, blah, blah. I dug into my sordid past. I started looking for patterns in my narrative from the past 11 years. What is a resolution anyway? And the concept, goal setting, desire change, the status quo. Ad hoc, high-level description. You recognize that your current or situation could be better. You have an immediate notion of what you could do to change the situation through your own action. You pick some action to follow through with periodically. I don't even know what that's an error. Let me fix that. You pick some action to follow through with periodically. Let me rephrase this. You pick an action to periodically follow through with is an awkward phrasing. To periodically execute, let's say, although I don't like using that word, that ideally culminates in an upgraded version of yourself. Ideally adds that in time, culminates, I don't know if culminates is the right word there. Let's just say results. And the proof is in the ability to do new things. Saving the file. Why is this so slow? I'm always concerned that someone's trying to hack my server. I should put something in the chat room, say, we are reviewing, if you're just tuning in, we're reviewing my past Groundhog Day Resolutions kickoff post from February 2nd. All right. It turns out to be the lack of preparedness. We're managing our personal foibles, motivation, are fleeting. That should not is. One does not know the nature of their own heart and mind. What do you know really makes your heart sing? What brings your heart down? How does your mind perceive the world? What blind spots do you know of? I think a lot of the time we are just aware that we are feeling comfortable or not. It takes quite a bit of self-knowledge to persevere through any kind of resolution in the absence of an immediate outside force. I find it very difficult unless someone needs something from me or there are severe consequences forcing me to act immediately. Habit change is difficult without that kind of regular coercion. It's easier if I already love it and can make myself change because I am already doing it. For the other stuff, not so easy to find the energy within. I should rewrite this whole paragraph. This is junk. I'll reduce it to 3 sentences. But I have a problem of not doing a lot of re-editing of the stuff that I write. It's just trying to get stuff out of my head as quickly as possible. It is one of the goals too. All right. The goals themselves, this might be critical. The goals themselves don't change much from year to year. There's an element of making a living. One thing to do with being around the right sort of people. And there's usually some goal related to making something that helps with passive income. I've been doing the same thing for every year. Every year there's a slightly different angle that I approach it from. The underlying patterns part. Getting comfortable. The idea that I was even allowed to pursue my own happiness under my own creative aegis was a new idea to me in 2007. In 2009 to 2011, I became aware that I needed to be a little more concrete about what I was doing. Now that I was comfortable with the idea that I could do it, that I was allowed to, I needed some specific metrics. And then by 2012, it occurred to me that I was not very good at following those metrics. And I was feeling overwhelmed, essentially. Then 2013, 2015, I thought that maybe it was just that I had to push myself to do it. It was the form of discipline that comes from just like, not. I thought that maybe the happiness would come if I could force myself to do it. In 2016, it kind of all collapsed for me. I was just tired. Nothing seemed to be happening. I was like down on everything I was doing. What the hell? The TV just made a loud noise. Netflix just did something. I don't know why. So I remodeled happiness in 2018. I'm going through a very boring part of this stream right now. Hopefully I'll pick up soon. So we're just figuring out where I left off. 15 minutes in, I'm just kind of figuring out where I'm doing. I think the important thing that came out of this post was having these 3 levels of happiness. I think I will actually copy those back down. Let's put it into this notes thing. Let's see. Happiness, level 1. Sharing. By level 1, these are things I do automatically. Mastering. Happiness, level 3. Mastery I find more difficult. Big damn projects. I guess I did have some specific goals. The resolution. I should really rewrite this whole post. But maybe it's alright. Make a viable gathering style productivity system. Resolution. Actually, maybe I'm doing focus on mastery and JavaScript. I'm kind of doing that. Resolution. Create a public identity. Built on disparate activities. Ownership. And standing for the things I love. And sharing them as part of my neat side business. Resolution. Build the product mix. Consolidate the store. Share them widely. I think somewhere I'd written about recreating the neat side businesses. Is really the sharing aspect. And it was also swearing less. Oops, swearing less. What did I say here? The resolution listed here are a mix of past goals, e.g. neat side business, and a focus that I've chosen for the year, mastery in JavaScript software development. Not trying to do it all anymore, and I'm not counting on the completion of these resolutions to provide that satisfying feeling of being productive. The gathering style of productivity, as I am contemplating it, instead of focused on what was accrued in the pursuit of these and other interests. What does that even mean? Something got chopped. Check that. I know why people don't read my stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Let's close it. What did I mean by this? Oh, Oakstein's focus is on. That's what I meant. Focus is. Oh, it was accrued. Not what was completed. Let's just kill this for you. I don't think it's necessary. I'm committing a cardinal sin of editing my past blog posts, but if it was doing something that was less personal, maybe that would matter. Let's see, what's all this metric stuff? I forgot about that. Is the same post? This is an interesting picture. Having this formula. Supporting the goals. I think one of the things I want to review today, let's see what got done. Review the resolutions, which I just put at the top. View what happened last month. See how the accrual bucket turned out. See how gathering worked. See how the gathering style of productivity developed. There's a bunch of factors that I was able to practice. Let's review the daily monitoring. You have a whole lot of these daily monitoring gut checks. I do all this stuff over here. All right, I think I'm ready to start this. Let's clone this sucker. Where is it? I want to make a copy of this. Copy this to a new draft. This should be in a new draft, right? Yep. 2018 GHDR review number 1. I'm sure that gets changed later. Let's just call it Goals Review 001. I'm getting a cough drop. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through a bunch of lists and process that, and then I'm going to put those lists into my 2018 Groundhog Day Review page. But first, let's nuke all this stuff. Declare this image. Let's just keep everything that was. Here's the goals. Then there's happiness levels. There's the resolutions themselves. Let's see. Supporting the goals. Okay, did I do this twice? No, maybe not. Supporting the goals. Just jumping weird. These are daily activities that keep me on track. Yeah, thing of day seems to be great, just making it less demanding on time. That's something I did not pursue. Data monitoring. These are protective insights. These are defend against. Metrics for success. This is health. Let me recombine these things. Big systems. How can I approach them? Level 3 achievement. Does still seem important. How do I reconcile so many activities and not feel overwhelmed? Life balance. How do I maintain physical and mental health in the pursuit of these projects? Happiness goals. How will I... This is actually important. Is my destiny emergent? Or targeted? Maybe I need to be explicit about that. Okay, so let me save this as a draft. Let's see. Someone watching. I think it might be me. No, I'm on the dashboard. I don't think it reports me on the dashboard. But hello, people. All right, so we're about 24 minutes in. Did an initial review of the kickoff post for 2018's Groundhog Day Resolutions. Next, let's review what got done and make a more polished package of resolutions for continued reference, for referencing next month. All right. So how do I review what got done? I guess one thing I can do is look at, well, let's see what pictures I took. Let's open Lightroom. Boop, 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 boop. Let's take a sip of tea. Let's look at, why is it so slow? Camera uploads. This is annoying. Let's go to the bottom of this. The pictures are a good way of remembering what got done since February 2nd. This is from January 21st. This is from January 23rd. There's a new hat. That was February 1st. This was close to February 2nd. Oh, this is when I was trying to master poached eggs. What is this? Oh, those are sous vide egg bites. That's when I was at Starbucks writing all this stuff. So from this point forward, what was happening? I don't recall getting buying this. This was probably... Oh, this is when I went and visited Alan, I think. Yes. Right. So what happened the last month? Let's just make a note of a bunch of those things. What happened last month? Let's make a list of notable things. Hung out with Alan. Bonded over Sam and Max. His daughter Mia apparently really loves Sam and Max, which warms my heart. And practice pork shank, which is what all these are. Oops, that's strange. I was practicing this for making this for Chinese New Year. It came out really good looking. That was before the actual baking of it. That was 3 weeks. I did this 3 weeks before the actual day. What was this? How come this is... No, this is retarded Macintosh clicking thing. That's still not the thing I clicked on. I clicked on this. Okay, I guess I did move it forward. This is when I was cleaning out my basement. Here's some more dishes I got. What was this? Oh, we did recorded some podcasts. Looks like I built a new computer system. Yep. Rebuilt, new computer. Got new curry packs. Had your dinner with friends. Let's see. Reviewed an Ottoman. So all these pictures are here. Oops. There's a computer build. That's the rebuild. Hello, kitty. Oh, so cute. And I got that new pen. I'm going to try to find nail polish to match that. Got new Lamy Vibrant Pink, which is more purple. Oops. Blew up my graphics card. What's wrong with this? What was this? This is from, oh yeah, Ben's Visit. These are done yen. They're okay. For our project kickoff, we made matzo ball soup. Got a guitar. The Living Room Cafe. We got some bread. Made some chicken soup. Ate some Bentley's roast beef. Smoked some pork. Made some carne asada. Made some open-faced tacos. Tried to buy a expensive bottle of whiskey. It was too much to though. Dropped off at the airport. Right. Now, what other context to look at? There's not a whole lot going on in email, but there other major log is here, the accrual combobulator. And so this would be worth looking back at for the past. So these are all the accomplishments that went into the last week. These are things. The accrual bucket is part of the gathering model of productivity, where I am trying to make something to put in the bucket every day. So let's see. I discovered how to see all the referrals in Google Analytics by choosing behavior, site content, all pages, filter by full refer. Let's just check that. It's going to just log me right in. Why is everything so slow today? What if I'm too close to the access point? Excuse me. What is our link connection speed? 80 megahertz. There's some place at 7.2 megabits. That's not bad. I don't know why this is so slow though. Maybe it just sucks. It's Google's fault. Rolling very slowly. So behavior, site content, all pages. Behavior, site content, all pages. And then filter by full referral. How do I do that? Filter. Is it this? Where's the filter? There's a whole bunch of filters here. Is it this? Is it this? It's down here. Secondary dimension. Page full refer. Choose secondary dimension. What was I saying this is supposed to do? No, I want to see the refers, damn it. I don't want to see that. I hate Google Analytics. It seems to remember what I did before. Referral path. And that's the. Oh wait, that's not. That's page. I mean, it's here. Page views. Entrances. No, page views versus. How the hell did I do this before? Sort type. It seems like Google's constantly trying to lock you out to see who's linking to you. This is stupid. This is probably why I didn't do, what's it called? Stat counter. I actually started paying them so I could see more referrals. Because it's a little more straightforward and less full of shit as Google Analytics. Let's see. This looks like a pretty typical pattern. That's my log level. How does this work? Let's see. I want to see where they came from. This one, I think. So the idea is to see who is linking in, so I can find out about people who are interested in my work. Toolblog DE looks like something. Get Pocket still kicking. People looking on Bing. Innorator. So not a whole lot of traffic. It's not like the old days. This I'm not familiar with. Is that ThinkPad? Nope. Someone's writing about project management. Let's translate this. So this activity under this is figuring out connection stuff. Referrers are useful for finding connections I didn't know about. Filter. I still don't know where this filter location is. I should take a screenshot of that. Analytics. Let's look at the analytics again. Somewhere here, there's a full refer thing. Someone knows what I'm looking for. So under behavior, what did I say it was again? Site content, all pages, filter. This is all the pages. Where's the filter? This is, I would have thought it was here. Is it the secondary filter? Page title, other. These are the most popular ones. Page. What if they got rid of this option I'm looking for? This is the first row. Or maybe I had to drill down. And then maybe I choose referral path. Yeah, that's how I do it. Okay, so this is a little bit wrong. This. Click a page, then filter by second dimension. I think that's what I'm doing. Full referrer. So this way I can see who's coming in for a specific page. So exam PM des utiles pour accroître votre productivity. Utilities for accroître, what would that be? Acquiring your productivity? Improve, what does accroître mean? Increase, all right. I guess I should have guessed that. There are people on Reddit talking. 12 incoming links. DIY planner templates directory. Let's make sure no one's ripping that off. Sometimes people just steal my content. I just want to make sure that's not happening. It's cool that everyone's doing all these things, though. Look at all these templates. Well, there's a link here, but no one actually seems to be mentioning it. It must be on a different page. Oops. I just lost my context. But anyway, that's done with that. So I made this accrual spreadsheet, updated the world clock, tried this drink that Susan in the chat room had suggested trying. PC Partlex, learned to export stuff, standardized the pork shank recipe. Co-working and cooking is a stream category. It's actually really, co-working and cooking is a stream category. Let's see. Some of these things were improving, making resources for the community that I thought would be share-worthy. Oh, I need to update the discount code. Let's do that. On my Shopify account, I should just be able to do that. Let's see, the word tracking calendar. Let's drop this. I have discount codes. Calendar miser. Now the discount value should be 2. Right. It's March, April. So if you're $2 off 12, actually I guess it should be 3 now. No, we'll make it 2. Otherwise, you don't want it to go down to 0. All right, so if we go back to Shopify, or shopdavidsay.com, let's see. This strange spacing. Okay. They should say something on Twitter about that. Just updated the. Just updated. Why is everything so slow? The calendar miser. Discount code for the digital downloads on shopdavidsay.com. Use it to save $1. Few bucks on the calendar related stuff. It is now $2. All right, and let's see. I was working on a frozen chicken, from frozen chicken to water, work in process. Updated a policy on someone modifying my work. And so like I came up with a general way of allowing people to do that, but also making sure that I wouldn't let their work impact other people's impressions of well, just so people could tell the difference between what I did and what people modified. Because the modifications aren't always as clean as what I might do. I didn't want people to think that I was working sloppy. It's hard to let people work and not change your work. I want people to change my work so they can do cool stuff, but I also don't want to take the blame for something that is not the way that I would do it. You know, things don't line up or things aren't following patterns. This was an insight. Writing work is opinion of thoughtful people, observes I don't want to control them. My real product may be the sense of place where this happens. That's an important insight. I should look at the accrual blog, accrual bucket first impressions blog posts. This was I was just noting the reach that I have right now for FeedPress, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Set up the tall table, extract a small table. That was like working in the basement. Broccoli task runner. Oh, right. I was looking at development stuff. I need to do billable hours this month. Rudimentary brunch. This is all Nodge. Oh, I did added the UTAP HDMI to the streaming setup, which was really nice. Let's see. Several improvements to the living room cafe. It was an interesting insight. Happiness level 3 eco projects really are to legitimize sharing my unedited process. Is that true? Why share my unedited process in the first place? I don't know. Got HTML import working. Here's another insight. The internet has a lot of stupid, angry people. Making my own subnetwork of people as a sanctuary from such people is good for my mental health. Oh, here's a note. OpenIPC turning $20 webcams into RTSP streamings. It's a possible project. This Strudel will help with an insight. What's in the accrual bucket could be offered to other integrators. CSS Flexbox, learn some chords on the guitar. Then there's this idea of being a process concierge. And then an insight from yesterday about unwrapping one uncertainty at a time. So I think I'm going to copy all the insights into the blog post. And let's copy all this stuff from here into the post here. All right, I think we're ready to start writing this thing. Let me think about. Oops, I missed some stuff. That should also go here. So what is the structure of this post going to be? Restate, simplify goals. Simplify goals. Dump list of achievements past month. Assign achievements to goals. Assess whether progress is being made. Question the process. See if there is a concrete target to pick. Improve reference material. To make next review easier. I think one thing that's interesting about this process for me is that I question whether or not this is really helpful work in terms of just getting straight to doing stuff. This is a form of self-therapy to figure out what's important to me and then why I'm doing things and why I'm not doing things. It would be nice if I could just up and do things that I thought were cool. For some reason I can't. I don't know what's in the way of it. Probably just myself, right? It could be that just like things that I think are hard, I don't need to take those so personally. You just plug away at them. That might be the actionable insight for today. Let me write that one down. They don't have to take things that are hard so personally. What's done accrues. Maybe the most valuable thing I'm getting out of the accrual bucket now are these insights. Which suggests to me that question the process, question what is it delivering it, question the process too. What is I'm getting the sense that there's another goal. There is another goal. I am not defining. That has always been there. So if I would describe the nuts and bolts goals I have, it's those happiness level things. Happiness level 1 is sharing. Happiness level 2 is mastery. Happiness level 3 is big fucking projects. A big fucking project, I think, proves to me that I'm a competent, capable person that can do complicated things. And this may be one of my remaining childhood level fears. Sharing seems to be something that I do naturally. I like sharing stuff. I like sharing process. I like sharing thoughts. I particularly like seeing what other people have to say about process and get their opinions and stuff. There's something about that that just makes me feel happy. And while I'm doing that, nothing else really seems to matter. There is the little voice in the back of my head that says, though, if you spend all your time helping other people and sharing what you do, you'll never achieve those big projects that actually could transport you to a next plane of achievement or take care of yourself in your old age. Happiness level 2, which is mastery, the pursuit of mastery, understanding, ties in with that. So sharing, mastering ideas, concepts, being able to make big projects, that kind of is the engine of what I have, how I am, and what I am as a person to actually be productive. I should write that down. My happiness levels are what I have that give me productive potential. The goal itself, there's two things, like how do I maximize my productive potential? And then what makes me happy, which is a different question. And the big question, is there a way of having, or can I have a singular goal that gives me both? A singular, maybe goal's not the right word, a singular approach to life that will give me both. That might be the question. And then what are the processes? The daily processes. The habits, processes, and methods, those that comprise that singular approach. What are the metrics to test that, one, I'm being productive, and two, I am happy? So I think that's what it is. I just wrote that over here. I think I'll just lead off the entire blog post with these. Let me copy this whole thing in. Okay, sorry, you can't see my screen. I'm about to switch it now. So this is what's on the screen right now. This is all the new stuff here. This is, let me put this into, there, go blow my nose. Put the nose things here. Let's see this. Let me mute this for a second. Attractive. Let's see if Shore sells more of those pad things for the side. All right, I should have audio back. We're 1 hour in, but I feel that I'm getting to a place where I can actually start running this draft thing. So, how do you start a blog post like this? First, you take a drink. I should make some more tea. Let's do that. Let's make some more tea. Let's put on the getting more tea camera up. We go get some more tea. Okay. We're drinking Harney and Sons hot cinnamon spice tea. Almost out of hot water here. I wonder if anyone else is working on their Groundhog Day resolutions late. I saw a few posts go up. I think Jess got hers out. Congratulations to Jess for that. I started reading it, and it looked pretty good. It sounds like she's having a pretty good run at it. Asking the right questions, I think. Filling my Zojirushi hot water pot with water. Now I'm refilling the Brita filters. At least one of them, so there's water for me to drink. All right. I feel a resistance to write this blog post now. Let's see. My hair's terrible looking. It's interesting to see what weird patterns are growing it, though. It's like kind of weird and ropey. I'm not sure what will ever make it look good. Anyway, let's get off of that. Let's go back to this camera. Shift this thing down. All right. Anything else to point at? I guess I pointed at the cat. The cat's over there, being cat-like. Hey, sweetie. He's looking at me. Kitty, are you awake? You ignoring me? Silly cat. All right, so what are some ways I can start this post? First, I acknowledge it's Groundhog Day Resolutions. Then I admit that I have no idea how to do this review, so I just looked at what I did last month. Happy Groundhog Day Resolutions. Oh, the cat did something cute. Resolutions. I didn't know what to write about. Didn't know how to do the first few this month. I had the feeling that I'd forgotten what I was doing. And that it would probably be a terrible review. So I looked at what I got done. So I looked at what I wrote last month. I should mention I have a cold. I looked at what I wrote last month. Found it hard to parse. So then I looked at my camera uploads, and then my Cruel Bucket spreadsheet. I looked in particular at the insights. I also felt good at seeing what useful knowledge I had accrued. Then I said something else. The big questions. Happiness levels. This is what I have been given to make the best of. Hindu. This is what I've been given as productive potential. As my engine. Productive potential. How do I maximize it? Maximizing productive potential based in happiness. Do I maximize happiness as well? What is there a singular approach? That will work. And actually, what are the habits and processes that make this work? What are the metrics that help me know that I'm being productive and two, I am happy? Definition of productivity. I would say the definition of productivity here is something is being made, something to look forward to. Definition of happiness. Excited to share, get out of bed, research, and grateful for being alive. And share my research while participating with others doing the same and having many reasons to be grateful for being alive. That's going to be my working definition of happiness. Practical of practical happiness. Having money, having security, financial and physical security for the foreseeable future. I say that's a prerequisite too. Here's my working definition of my life, I guess. All right, so then after I talk about those big questions, what do I think about? How do I think about how the last month went? I'm generally pleased with it. I didn't have any big expectations, but the question is, maybe I should have had bigger expectations. Should I have had bigger expectations of myself? You know, specific quotas for achievement? It's up there's a voice in my head that says I need those, but I'm going to ignore it. That's what the voice in my head is saying. Injecting doubt into my thoughts. I'm going to ignore it. Because I am accruing valuable things every day. Just about, on average. So if I look at my accrual bucket here, from the second to now, I have how many? That's 42 things over about 30 days. 42 thoughts over 32 accrued things over 30 days. That's not bad, you know. Important insights that point to the future things that the insights you might not think they're very important, but or very tangible, but what they do is they point in a direction that gives me surety that goes through the uncertainty. So these are truths that will make me more efficient, more sure in the way I navigate my life. Maybe pointing directions I did not see, opportunities I did not anticipate. And so in that sense, those are probably the most important thing for allaying some of those fears. Now, to tie an insight to an action, let's say testing insights is the follow-up. Maybe this is not such an insight. No, maybe no. I'm going to put that in red. MAR.04.2018. Directive. Done right here. Testing insights is the follow-up step to after having them. So let's give that a try. So one of the insights Co-working cooking is a stream category. The action is just do these streams. Let's do a cooking and co-working stream. If the writing work appeals to thoughtful people, maybe my real product is a sense of place where this happens, providing an enriching supplementary project, a kind of spa. That is, if how I write is appealing to a certain group of people, and this can be embodied by a place that I create, like the co-working cafe, or just me being around. That's the follow-up action is to continue to do that. But with this in mind, if what Jen said was along similar lines, if she thinks that my thinking is novel and interesting, and other people might want to read it, maybe I should write more of those pieces. And so those become maybe part of the GHDR process. So let me put that down as part of the for daily. Actually, that's part of the project combobulator. Huh. Insights converted into specific tests and experiments. Aha! So the project combobulator starts to come along. And maybe that's the other thing. Let's go look at some of these others. Happiness level 3 ego projects are really legitimized sharing my unedited process. I'm not sure if that really counts anymore, but let me see. I linked to the blog post. Why is this like sorting wrong? I'm not sure if that is really an insight. I'm going to delete it. No, let me leave it in. There's something interesting about it, but I can't quite process it yet. I'm not sure exactly what it means. I mean, so if I break it down, the level 3 ego projects are things that are about competence, proving competence in myself, and by producing big, cool things that other people will like, that I also think is cool. Sharing my unedited process is something I already do. But I guess by saying it's attached to one of these big projects, is a way of making it less of like just fooling around, but fooling around with intent. Let's say screwing around with intent. With intent, not randomly. The internet has a lot of stupid, angry people. Making my own sub-network of people from as a sanctuary from SAPs is good. I mean, that's what I'm doing with the co-working chat. So, creating a purposeful sanctuary. What can I do to make this place safer? What can I do to make this place strong? The accrual bug will be offered to integrators. I guess I'm sort of doing that by making it public. Process concierge. I'm motivated by people seeing development. Being a process concierge is by providing those tools to people. Unwrapping one uncertainty at a time. That's helpful for just doing things. They don't have to take things that are hard so personally. What's done accrues. That's really more of a insight for not feeling bad that I'm not doing things quickly as I think I should be able to do, and whatnot. Let's look at the cat for a moment. Goals. Yes, I'm talking about you. Oh, you're asleep. He's just sleeping. Anyway, let's go back to the blog post. I might have to take a break after this. But let me just continue to do the outline. Oh, the cat moved. Did you see that? That's so cute. So looking at this, where am I at this now? So I'm going to say what these big questions are, and it's going to answer them. And then I would go for gathering productivity. I feel like I'm hitting all three things in the happiness mill. 1 and 2 more readily than 3. But I think 3 might be emergent and require the assembly of a team. So finding team members might be a continual task. So I would say I'm feeling okay. The thing that's the doubt still is that I'm not saying I'm going to do A and I did A. I win. Not being able to say. With gathering style productivity, it's more like I did A and I know it's good. Not sure yet where it's going, but I trust that I'll be able to make something more powerful from A. If I keep pushing forward. There is another doubt whether something in happiness category 3 can be built through gathering style productivity. It might not be perfectly architected. Or elegant. But know that I can't build stuff that isn't. The elegance comes from refinement. Refinement over time, not through preconceived perception. And hitting on some kind of timetable. Assessment, not success, fail, but I collected these things. And here's the direction they point in, and here are some hypotheses, some following hypotheses to try out. All right, okay, I think I have the structure of this blog post, so I'm going to take a break. I'll just write this in private because I might want to get more comfortable than I am right now. Also, I think I need to lie down anyway. All right, so that's been today's review of the Groundhog Day resolution process. To recap, I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to approach this. So I reviewed what I got done last month. There were some questions whether or not what I was doing was going to make any sense or adhere to any kind of plan, but I remembered that it was gathering style productivity was one of the major test. It's one of the major focuses of this year. Can I make a gathering-style productivity system? So after reviewing all these things, I identified what pieces of unease were still within me, and identified some larger pictures, like specifically this model, this hypothesis I have of having 3 levels of happiness, of increasing difficulty. Level 1, which is sharing, is something that I do very naturally, and this makes me feel good. Level 2 is mastery, which is like learning how to do things better. It's a little more difficult, doesn't come as naturally, but I'm still driven to do that. And then the level 3 happiness level, which is the hardest for me, is to create big, giant, cool systems. Things that are difficult, things that require more than like just a couple hours and a handful of parts to do. Something you need to design and build and test. What I was calling big fucking projects. Big fucking impressive projects. That's the most difficult for me, and it's the one that's the one that I have difficulty just pursuing. Whether or not gathering style productivity can result in these giant projects, that's something that still have some doubt about. But following up from the idea of having these 3 levels of happiness, I had the insight as I was doing this that those are the tools I have been given, my specific tools. Those are the things that I know make me happy, and if I can construct a life pursuit out of feeding those 3 levels of happiness, will I then be maximizing my productive potential and be happy because I'm pushing all the buttons on the happiness stuff? I think that may be the direction, that might be the hypothesis I'm testing right now, having discovered what those are. And then the underlying thing is this prerequisite of having financial and physical security for the foreseeable future. And there are things you have to do to make that happen. Then one final follow-up thing I'm going to write about is how to change the assessment of whether or not I'm succeeding at my goals or not. So instead of success, fail, I'm going to say I collected these things that are related to the happiness stuff I was talking about. This is where they seem to be pointing to, so let's test those hypotheses and see where those going. It's not fail, there's things to try. There is no success, there is no fail. There is only what has accrued. That might be a good line. There is no success. Success or failure. There is only what is left behind. And accrues. What accrues and is left. That as the what and the direction that you follow. Trying to come up with some wise way of putting it. So I wrote down, there is no success or failure. There is only what accrues and the direction you follow from it. So I would like to leave it at there's only what accrues, or there's only what is left behind. And what that suggests moving forward. That's probably a better way of putting it. There is no success or failure. There's only what is left behind and what that suggests moving forward. Grammatically, that's not quite right, so I'm going to work on that a bit. But all right, so I'm about to pass out, so I will cut this stream off now. It's been how long? An hour and a half. That's not bad for a prep thing. It's 2:22 p.m. on Sunday, so if I can get this thing out by 6, I'll feel pretty good about it. I'm going to try to write it really short, too, short and concise, and see how that goes. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good Sunday and having a good Groundhog Day Resolutions year if you are following it. And I will see you Monday with the next What's Up Dave stream where I catch up with my buddies on the internet. See you then. Twink.